The private home ownership sector is the largest sector in the UK's built environment, singularly. So there's, depending on the figures you believe, there's between 21 and 26 million homes. It's both the biggest sector, but it's also perhaps the most difficult sector to get to. The Lenders Project is a collaboration between BRE, Nationwide Building Society, Principality Building Society and a number of other partners. What the project does is it looks at the affordability calculation, which is undertaken if anyone goes and asks for a mortgage. And what we've pointed out with the research and demonstrated fairly robustly is that using the data that's currently available in the marketplace, you can make a more accurate prediction as to the fuel cost. If you're making a more accurate prediction as to the fuel cost that the applicant for the mortgage will have, then you're effectively making a more accurate assumption as to how much they've got left. When people go for their mortgage borrowing or their affordability calculation, they're going to get told, if you buy low energy, you can borrow more. People will then act. We need the Lenders Project to be implemented because the current system is not as accurate as it is possible to be. So on a very basic financial level, we are not being as fiscally prudent as we could be. The assumptions that we are currently using as a nation in our affordability calculations are based on the Office of National Statistics Family Spending Report. The responses for the energy section are typically less than 5,000 responses. So we're basing something like £127 billion a year on the survey responses of less than 5,000. What Lenders does is use a data set that's almost 10 times that, so roughly 40,000, to predict with more specificity around the house type and the size and the energy performance certificate to get approximately twice as accurate an outcome. From a financial perspective, we're aiding fiscal prudence. We're enabling the building societies and the banks to lend with more certainty about their outgoings of their customers. From their perspective, this is roughly net neutral, so they may be lending a bit less to low energy performing properties and lending a little bit more to high energy performing properties. The Lenders calculation works by using only data which is available at the right point in the mortgage process, and we were really keen to make sure that we did that. What we've done with the Lenders calculation is we just use the number of people that will live in the home, the number of bedrooms for the home, and that's a proxy for the floor area, and then an energy performance certificate rating as an indicator. What that does is feed the data, feed in to then a database based on the 40,000 actual fuel bills that we sourced for the project, and it looks where those would come out in terms of those indicators. So we can turn that into a prediction of the fuel cost for that combination of occupiers and home, but we can do that at a point before they've picked the house they want to buy, which means we can nudge them. Looking ahead at the implementation of Lenders, it's in UK government's clean growth strategy, so that's stated as government policy being the implementation of the Lenders recommendations. That's a real win. One of the potentially quick wins is that we're currently in discussions with Welsh Government about using the Lenders method in the Help to Buy affordability calculation, and can be used as a reference for the rest of the industry, and we're really hopeful that can come through soon. The other beauty, I'd say, about the implementation of the affordability calculation change, if it happens, is that it also applies to existing properties. So this isn't just new builds. You can go back to your mortgage lender and say, I can get my property from a G to a C. Can you lend me what could well comprise a significant contribution, if not all of the money that you'd need to be able to make that transformation? Looking ahead, I think the opportunities for lenders are to start to look at how the same logic that underpins Lenders can be applied to the social rented sector. We're also looking with the European EMAP project over potential to look at default rates, and there's a lot of interest over whether we can demonstrate that green lending has a lower rate of default than normal, if you will, lending, because demonstrating a different default rate means you can start to have a different capital retention on the overall portfolio. That enables you to open green finance at scale, and you start to be trading different interest rates, and that gives you a real advantage in the market. So that would be a benefit if we can get to demonstrate that as well.